We're here at McDonald's to break down the stock and see if we can trade to get unlimited burgers. Let's go. So coming right up, we have the share price of McDonald's. So now this is on a 12-month view, and we can look to break this down, but ultimately from a pattern, it's it's a pretty aggressive move up. I mean, anyone who's holding from here, well done. You're probably in very substantial profits, but I think if we break it down, we can probably see where we can potentially trade this. As you can see all the way up here, it's at the higher end of its price range, and so it'll be really interesting to see what opportunities we have as we go in to see whether we can take more of this upside or whether we can look at potentially going for this areas down here. So without further ado, we can go through, and firstly we'll mark our all-time high. So if I put that up there and make that green, fantastic. What levels do we have? So if we work our way down, we've got a fantastic yearly level there. That one, as you can see, is relatively close, but that's still an active candle, so we won't touch that one. That one's a little bit off. Here we have a fantastic level at 92. And then finally, I'm going to put one there. I'll mark these as yearly. I think these are the only ones from a yearly perspective that really matter, because I think we're not going to see prices down here unless McDonald's is in fact going bust. So if we move down onto the 6 month, is there any levels which stick out to me? Yes, there is. There is another one there. Is there anything in the middle? Nope. So we will leave that there. So we've got some really nice levels up here. So we will take this and we'll move down onto the 3 month. And on the 3 month, I think one thing that's really coming through is certainly there's a very nice 3 month level there. Is this consolidation up here. So we have a very recent level in there. If I grab that, we'll put that underneath. There we are. Do anything else? Nope. One down here at $114. So as you can see, quite a nice move up. Obviously a COVID candle there, which took out a lot of the downside liquidity, and as we go up, you can see, look, yeah, some really interesting candlestick patterns. So down onto the monthly, let's get in and amongst it and see what jumps out. So if we zoom in, is there any monthly levels? No, nothing in here. There is one there. As you can see, that is a high liquidity zone there. We've got a monthly level there. And that is about it. So if we reset chart view, so we can see very nice when it's come down and retested these levels. So if we move on to the weekly, what can we see on a near-term perspective? So you can see it's pushed up, tried to clear out up here. It's retracing somewhat. So I would potentially be eyeing some sort of reaction at this 292 or 284 area. I think you can see massive liquidity area below. I think if we have a look at where the volume sits on this, if we go across here, so this is the high volume point. So if we put that there, make that purple. What other bits of volume do we have that are interesting? So obviously some around here. Got a very interesting bit here. Something sticks out to me here. So if we go down onto the daily, then what can we see? So daily perspective, again, fairly similar. It's pushed up into this liquidity, into this area here, and it's retraced back down. It's currently working its way through this zone here. So it's holding up relatively well, but as we can see, there's a little bit of a void below. Before you see some interesting volume here. So I will get a rectangle and just go, and I don't want that to be green, I want that to be there. What do we see below? Yeah, very low volume below. So perhaps we can look closely at this on a very low time frame and see what there is in this little structure here. So in this structure alone here, we can have a look. We can see from a low time frame perspective, this is an interesting point. And not a huge amount below it. Obviously you've got this area here. There is something here. Refines. We've obviously got that marker there. But yeah, I think it's quite interesting. I think obviously as we're retracing now, what I will have a look at is if I get this and we can go over this area here, where should this continue to fall, where are we likely to see a reaction? And that is around this 3-month level. You can see that there is a point on the chart here. So this 297 might be a really interesting point. As we can see, there's a lot of volume in this little cluster here. So we may, in fact, see, once it falls below this point of control at 299, this 297 may be where you see a bounce. After that, you've got quite a nasty void below here before you'd potentially be looking to find support down at 294, 292. Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's up towards all-time highs, so these are quite difficult to trade. But I think it's an interesting opportunity to find a bounce zone. I think where it bounces is the next question. Whether you get a reaction at 297. I think if I was looking to have a more serious trade on this, I'd probably be looking for an entry inside this zone here with a potential second entry down at 284. Because you've got some easy invalidation below there, you can then essentially, if that falls through, you're then essentially looking for support much further down here. But yeah, nice stock to break down, and hopefully you can take a nice bite out of it.